welcome the Massasoit Community College Police Department Honor Guard for the presentation and posting of colors. When the national anthem begins, please stand as you are able.
Forward march! Lift, 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 ready, halt! Honor Guard, present, colors. Honor Guard, present, arms. Order, arms. Left, boost. Forward, march. Lift, 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 lift.
Please take a seat. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much for being here at a very important moment in Massasoit history. My name is Deanna Yamin, and I'm proud to serve as the Provost and Vice President of Academic and Student Affairs at the college. Excuse me. Academia has a long tradition of presidential inaugurations for some very good reasons. Some people believe the only reason to hold an inauguration is to welcome a new president. Although this is an essential purpose, there are other reasons that are far more important. I know that Gina tried repeatedly to sidestep an inauguration, preferring to remain outside the limelight. But understanding what this could mean to our community, she was easily convinced to move forward with the celebration. A presidential inauguration at a college serves many functions. Inaugurations honor our heritage, the history of our community college, our wider community, and the work of so many individuals. Inaugurations are a way to celebrate our values of inclusion, community, equity. And finally, inaugurations are a time to come together and forge our joint future. A time to promise each other to work towards serving our students and our community together. It is a recognition of the work that we will all be required to do in order to create the bright future we all wish to see. From the entire faculty and staff of Massasoit Community College, thank you so much for joining us in our celebration today and joining in our work going forward together in order to build a better community. A slight but important aside, thank you to our culinary faculty and students for supplying us with some refreshments later on. You take very good care of us and we appreciate it. And I now invite my colleague and friend, Professor Deborah Sharif, to the podium, and she will guide us through the rest of the celebration. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Deanna. Good afternoon. I am honored to serve as your MC for this afternoon's ceremony. Before we begin, I would like to take this opportunity to introduce the members of the Platform Party. When I call your name, please stand and be recognized as you are able. From the Board of Trustees, Chairman Robert Harnez. Vice Chairman Thomas Carroll. Secretary Ann Sullivan. Bonnie Blacklear. Ashita Chakrabarti. And Student Trustee Cindy Mack. Members of the President's Senior Administration, Provost Deanna Yamin, who you've just heard from, Melanie Heber, Vice President of Corporate and Community Education, Lydia Kamara, Chief of Staff, Paul Grandpre, Chief Advancement Officer, Slandy DeJuice, Dean of Students, and Bill Mitchell, Vice President of Administration and CFO, who served as interim president of Massasoit from 2017 to 2018. Also here with us today are Dr. Charles Wall, who served as president of Massasoit from 2002 to 2017, and as an interim president from 2001 and 2002. Dr. Wall. And Dr. Jerry Burke, president of Massasoit from 1983 to 1996. Representing the Board of Higher Education, Senior Deputy Commissioner Clantha McCurdy. And finally, our speakers for today, Moses Rodriguez, the Mayor of the City of Brockton. Dr. Carly Drummer, President of Columbia Green Community College. Lucy Hurston, Professor of Sociology at Manchester Community College. James Dunphy, President and Chief Executive Officer of South Shore Bank. And John Conley, Class of 2004. We are also honored to have with us the presidents of a number of sister and area institutions and staff from the Massachusetts Association of Community Colleges. Although we are here today to celebrate Dr. Glickman's inauguration, the real reason we are all here is for our students. Please enjoy this brief video.
My experience here has really opened up my eyes to other colleges. It has allowed me to play with girls around my community. Everybody around here is just welcoming.
I like that it gave me an opportunity that I wouldn't have been able to have. I was not the best high school student, and so I would not have been able to go to the college that I would like to go to without Massasoit, and that opportunity to show that I can work hard and I am a good student, actually.
I love the diversity, the amount of different types of students that come into our school, and for education and for extending their education of all ages.
I'm studying to be a registered nurse through Massasoit Associate's Degree Program. And honestly, not gonna lie, it's one of the most challenging majors I've ever chosen. Like, the workload is quite intense.
My experience here at Massasoit is very interesting. Coming from high school to playing to even a community college, it's very hard. It's just very competitive. Even if people look at it as a community college, it's very competitive. The athletics here, it's well known. Everybody around, even Boston, where I'm from, New Bedford, it's just everybody knows Massasoit. They know that it's a competitive school, and no matter what sport we have, everyone knows that we try to bring in the best of the best to compete at a high level.
I also enjoy being part of something that's great. Massasoit is a place where I've been able to study, I've been able to advance my career, being my first college experience in America, and I just love the environment, I love the potential, and I just want to be successful in my academics.
Well, favorite spot has to be right here in the piano lounge. It's really, it's invaluable in getting myself to relax, especially during hard study sessions. It's something that I like to do, to come here and play and get my mind off the books for a while.
I would probably say the lab, because that's where I get to do things that are more unique and more kind of cool, while everywhere else it's kind of just a study spot. But here you get to do something that's interesting and unique and actually relevant to what I would like to do in the future.
My favorite spot on campus has to be the athletic building, because all my teammates come here and we all sit in the V room and we all talk about game plans and we talk about our classes and our days.
My favorite spot is the Veterans Center, where I can work amongst fellow veterans. It's quiet, like the library, and yeah, it's peaceful here.
My favorite spot on campus is the Student Senate office. Here we have grown as a family. We are the student government, which represents all our students. We get together and we actually achieve success in what we want to help the students with, the environment and everything that they're here for, and believe in their ability to make a change and enjoy their time here at Massasoit.
My favorite spot on campus is the baseball field that recently just got named after the professor here, Tom Frizzell. It's it feels like a sanctuary for me that can just come here and just clear my mind and just play what I love to play.
And now I'd like to introduce our first speaker, Trustee Chair Robert Harnez.
Good afternoon. As you're aware, my name is Bob Harnez. I'm the chair of the Board of Trustees. We're here for inauguration, but it's not just a ceremony. What this actually is a new beginning for Massasoit. In 2017, the Board of Trustees took on the endeavor of looking for a new president. It was a long, long search. We searched, believe it or not, countrywide, all around. We had people come in for everything. We knew what we wanted. We wanted someone that's going to bring new blood to the college. We wanted someone that's going to bring new energy to the college. We wanted someone that was going to go out there and advertise this college and bring in funds and bring in money for the students. By the way, she will be collecting money from all years later. But that's what we needed. We needed that. It took us a while, and then we found her. We found someone that gave us a new energy. We found someone that gave us a new direction. We found someone that cared not only about the school, because the school is a building, but cared about the students. She wanted to make sure the students graduated without debt. She wanted to make sure the students got what they deserve. These are students that are here because they want to be here, and she was aware of that. So as a Board of Trustees, we were very happy we found Gina. You know, it's clear that she's going to lead the college in the direction the college should be. And for that, we thank her. So on behalf of the Board of Trustees, we want to welcome her on board. We want you to do the same. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair Harnez. Our next speaker is Moses Rodriguez, Mayor of the City of Brockton.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. What, did you guys not have enough to eat or something? I'm truly, truly honored, and this is a privilege for me to partake in this event as we inaugurate a person that I now call our dear friend. I've met Dr. Glickman for the first time once I became mayor here in the city, and we jived. This is someone who I see as a friend of this community, someone who's deeply involved in making our community better, and it's someone that the City of Brockton will greatly appreciate the efforts that she will bring to our community. As you know, or you might not know, but I'm going to tell you anyways, we have a relationship with this college to a point where we are going to be taking part in a Massasoit having a presence in our downtown location, something that we've been trying to do for quite some time. And this lady came in and said, it's done, it's doable, we can do this. So I appreciate the fact that you've brought your energy, your love for this community, your love for our city, and I can pledge on behalf of the people that I have the honor of representing that we'll be there for you along the way to make sure that this college succeeds as well as it deserves in this community. We're not lucky enough as Boston and some of these other communities to have all these name colleges, but we have Massasoit Community College. And I'm proud to call this college a College of Brockton because it's willing to open its doors and help students and children like myself, people that come from all over the world, that call Brockton home. This college is their home. And it's a welcoming college, and it gives people a sense of pride of belonging while they find their way. So I want to congratulate the Board of Trustees for doing your due diligence to find someone that's worthy of being called the president of this beautiful college. To guests who are here from the outside, welcome to Brockton. Please keep us in mind that Brockton is a friend of Massasoit Community College, and I see today by hiring Dr. Glickman to become your college president that we now have a friend at Massasoit Community College. Thank you very much for having me. This is a truly, truly honor for me and privilege. And again, you can count on us to be there for you along the way. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor Rodriguez. Next up, Jim Dunphy, President of South Shore Bank, will be your next speaker.
Good afternoon, everyone. What I'd like to talk about is the importance of Massasoit as a community college and working with the business community. I've been with South Shore Bank now for just about 6 years. When I first came to the bank, we had embarked on some workforce training, and some of it was related to English as a second language, mentorship, and public speaking. And we put quite a few people through the training program, and what we saw from the start to when they finished was just amazing what they were able to accomplish. And with the pace of change that's happening, you know, in my world, in the financial industry, technology is changing ever rapidly, and we need methods in places for our workforce to be able to get the current skills they need. And so partnering like this is extremely important. I also have, I'm currently the chair of the South Shore Chamber, and we, in conjunction with the bank and the chamber, created a leadership program that the Massasoit has participated in for a couple of years. We've had tours, and that's, it's not a leadership program in that folks come in and learn, you know, like an MBA program. They learn about the community and the different things out there. And we have, one of the days is an education day, and we joke about it, it's more like adult field trips. And they go out and look at, you know, Justice Day, economic development, and education, and coming to see what type of opportunities are presented there. And as we partner, one of the groups we had come, it was up on the Canton campus, and we had an individual in the class that his family ran an HVAC company, and learned that the school had a diesel program but didn't have the right truck for them to work on, and was able to donate it there. The school wins. They start getting people trained as we look at it. So I think it's important for us to continue with that as we go back and forth with internship programs and cross-pollinating it. When Dr. Glickman came in and she got introduced through the chamber and we got to know each other, we talked about additional ways that we could partner. And one of the things we looked at is helping with the student IDs here. And you know, producing them, giving the bank some awareness, but also helping relieve some cost. And we built that into a program where we'll help with some financial literacy training, get some internships going, and being able to cross-pollinate that way. So we're excited that Dr. Glickman is so open to getting into the business community, learning what we need. Right now, we're in a mode where unemployment's low, and finding that talented workforce is hard. There's a lot of people that do want to work, that obtaining the education they need is challenging, so coming up with certificate programs in targeted ways is so important. So congratulations on being in the college, and we look forward to many years of working together. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. Cindy Mack, Massasoit Student Trustee, will be your next speaker.
Good afternoon, President Glickman and esteemed guests. My name is Cindy Mack, and I'm proud to be your student trustee. It is an honor to be here with you today. As far as I can remember, I've always been a nurturer and a caretaker. I was 6 years old when my father passed away, leaving behind my 31-year-old mom with 4 young children. I am the oldest, which meant learning responsibility from a very young age. I came to Massasoit after my brother Justice insisted that I sign up for school. He knew that I needed to find a new path in life, and he was right. Since my first day at Massasoit, I've felt at home. The Massasoit Community College is my family. I can stand here today and tell you that the wonderful, caring, nurturing professors and advisors have superseded my expectations. My education has broadened my horizons. It means a lot to me, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart. As students, our paths might be different, but the goals are the same. We are here to find ourselves, find our successes, and to uplift Massasoit Community College. To start where we are and make a difference in doing what we can. I am passionately committed to helping pave the way for Massasoit Community College to be the best choice of community colleges. I'd like to end my speech with a quote. In the words of Malcolm X, education is the passport to the future, for tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for it today. Thank you for the opportunity to speak today. Congratulations, Dr. Glickman, and I look forward to working with you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Cindy Mack. Please welcome John Conley, class of 2004, to the stage.
Good afternoon. I'm honored to be here, and I'm also very proud to tell you that I'm a graduate of the 2004 class. I want to bring you back and share a quick story with you, if I may. I want to bring you back to 1985. I'm 17 years old, and I'm a senior in high school. I'm in an English class, and the English teacher is talking to all of us about what college we should be thinking about attending and how to make that decision. On the way out of that class, the teacher had asked me to stay behind. And she sat down with me and she said, John, I'm going to give you some really good advice. The advice I'm going to offer to you today is don't go to college. You have a severe learning disability, and you're going to get eaten up in school. So save your time, your energy, your effort, and your family's money. The issue I had with that, what she didn't understand, is I'm the youngest of 7 children. My 6 older brothers and sisters were all college graduates. So for me, not to at least try school wasn't really an option. I found myself the next fall going into Quincy College. I unfortunately failed out as quickly as I had gotten into it. But to me, that was okay, because she had told me I didn't have a chance. I began my real estate career at Success Real Estate, and I also began putting together my real estate portfolio. Neither one of those 2 careers need a college education. I remember sharing a story with a good friend of mine saying, you know, I'd do anything if I could have my college degree, because as I began to climb the corporate ladder and begin to take on more and more managerial positions and, again, grow my real estate portfolio, I really found a need for it. So a friend of mine said, well, why don't you go back to school? I said, well, I can't because I've got a learning disability. He said, you know, my girlfriend went over to Curry College and she took this test, and the test was able to identify for her that she did have what it took in order to be able to go to college. I challenge you to go over to Curry and take that test. So sure enough, within a week's time frame, I found myself over at Curry and I took that test, and I got good results. The results were that I did have what it took in order to be able to get a college education. As I sat down with this gentleman, Eric, he sat back and said, you need to understand a few things. One, you're a dad, you're a husband, a full-time real estate agent, and you own real estate. How are you going to find the time to do this? I sat back and thought about that for a minute, and I said, you know, I really want to be able to prove that teacher wrong, number one. Number two, I really wanted to be able to get it because I knew how much it would benefit me moving on in life. And 3, sweet Jesus, I had to get my mother off my back. If nothing else, I had to get her off my back, because there's no way she's not going to have all 7 kids being college graduates. So that being said, he said, one last final thing you need to do. You need to understand whatever school you go to, whatever class you get involved with, you're going to need to work harder than anybody else because of your disability. So that means if somebody else has to study for an hour, that means you're going to have to study for 2 hours. If somebody else takes 2 hours to write a term paper, you're going to need 3 or 4 hours. Are you committed to doing that? With all the motivation I had behind me to prove that teacher wrong, you darn well better believe I had that. So putting that aside, he said, one of the other most important thing is you're gonna need to be able to align yourself with a school that's gonna give you the academic support that you're gonna need. He goes, here at Curry College, we have that. Because I want you to really take into serious consideration a school that's even closer to your home, because I live in South Weymouth. It's called Massasoit Community College. Imagine that. Our competition is encouraging me to come down here. And he says, you know, there's a program down there called the ARC. And the ARC, I promise you, if you embrace it, you accept it, you be part of it, it's gonna help you to that finish line. So in September of 2001, I began my journey down here. I found the ARC, it became my best friend. An hour before every class, I was there. An hour after every class, I was there. I could have never have gotten my degree without the ARC. I'm very supportive of that. I'm very appreciative of that. I can also tell you going into the study halls and sitting down with professors who I had no affiliation with, willing to stop and give me a hand on writing a paper, willing to stop and help me in studying. And finally, I had my fellow students. Now remember, I'm in my 30s, so I'm the old man in this class, right? But needless to say, I built an affiliation with 7 or 8 other students that I still keep in touch with today. We didn't leave anyone behind. If you were struggling, we were there for you. We had each other's phone numbers. We'd show up even earlier before I'd even go into the ARC in order to be able to help us. Ladies and gentlemen, that's what Massasoit Community College is to me and to so many others. In closing, recently this summer, actually it was in the springtime, the Alumni magazine came in to do an article on me. It was a very flattering article. The writer did a more than over-the-top job, trust me when I say that to you. But all that being said, I had no idea when this article was going to be hitting the streets. But sure enough, over the summertime, in a couple of days, I started getting phone calls. I started getting emails. I started getting instant messages, text messages, handwritten notes from the alumni of this school. And I'm talking about dozens of people. And they were very flattering about the story, but really what they wanted to share with me is what this school meant to them and what opportunity that this school had given them, from a gentleman who started here and ended up over at Suffolk, and he's now a very well-known attorney in Boston, to a nurse who started here and all she ever wanted was to get her RN. She's an LPN right now. To my own personal daughter, who started here, transferred down to Bridgewater. I'm very proud to tell you all she's a special needs teacher. And as I speak to you all today, she's currently right now in a class down there going after her master's degree. I'm very, very proud of this school, and I'm very honored to be here this evening. And to our president, I wish you nothing but the best of luck. I'm not just here to support you, but so many others are here to support you. You've got to remember what this school has done to our community and the lives that it's changed. And I wish you nothing but the best of luck. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Our next speaker is Carly Drummer, President of Columbia Green Community College.
Good afternoon. It's an honor and an incredible delight to bring greetings from Columbia Green Community College and the State University of New York on the occasion of Dr. Gina Glickman's inauguration, the 6th president of the college and the first woman president. Although Dr. Glickman and I were in each other's orbit when we were both working at community colleges in Chicagoland, our paths did not cross until I became president of Quinebaug Valley Community College in Connecticut, which was about, 40 minutes up the road from Manchester. I will never forget the first time I met Dr. Glickman at a retreat with the presidents of the Connecticut State Colleges and Universities system. I was immediately impressed by her joie de vivre and her remarkable ability to quickly assess situations and not be afraid to ask the tough questions. Being the consummate English major, I cannot help but reflect on the opening line of Virginia Woolf's Mrs. Dalloway. Mrs. Dalloway said she would buy the flowers herself. Immediately, the reader knows Mrs. Dalloway is a self-directed woman with purpose and intention. That perfectly captures the ethos of Dr. Gina Glickman. More specifically, I believe 2 words in Webster's dictionary are synonymous with Dr. Glickman: intrepid and humorous. Indeed, President Glickman is one of the most intrepid people I know. Bold, fearless, undaunted. She enthusiastically embraces challenges, and the unbridled advancement of student success lies at the forefront of her leadership. She understands in her bones the needs of students and the challenges of teaching on today's community college campuses. She has the courage to make tough decisions and the persistence to follow through. She knows how to advocate for financial support and was responsible for bringing in a $7.6 million bequest during her tenure at Manchester, one of the largest gifts ever made to a community college foundation. Indeed, she has what it takes to lead Massasoit to greater heights. But a great leader also needs a robust sense of humor. And one of the things I love the most about Gina is her wicked sense of humor. When I was having a dark day in Connecticut, and believe me, we both had many of those, Gina was the person I sought for cheering up and a laugh. I'll never forget this one-liner that she shared, written by Dale Parnell, the first president of the American Association of Community Colleges. My advice to presidents is never tell people your troubles. Half of them don't care, and the other half are sort of glad it's happening to you. So now I'd like to return the favor by sharing one of my favorite stories, imparted to me by the late Dr. Robert Miller, the founding president of Quinnebog Valley Community College. Dakota tribal wisdom says that when you discover you are riding a dead horse, the best strategy is to dismount. However, some governmental and educational leaders try other strategies, such as buying a stronger whip, changing riders, saying things like, "This is the way we've always ridden this horse," appointing a committee to study the horse, arranging to visit other sites to see how they ride dead horses, increasing the standards for riding dead horses, appointing a tiger team to revive a dead horse, creating a training session to increase the ability to lead a dead horse, passing legislation declaring that the horse is not dead, blaming the horse's parents, harnessing several dead horses together for increased speed, declaring that no horse is too dead to beat, doing a cost analysis to see if contractors can ride it cheaper, forming a quality circle to find uses for dead horses, and finally, promoting the dead horse to a supervisory position. I can assure you that Dr. Glickman will be impatient with dead horses and will quickly find ways to distance herself from them and any impediment that gets in the way of attaining excellence and opening doors for students. Congratulations, Gina, and my best wishes to you on your continued success at Massasoit Community College.
Thank you, President Drummer. Our last address will be from Lucy Ann Hurston, Professor of Sociology at Manchester Community College.
Good afternoon. And to the rest of you, good afternoon. The last time I was here to speak nearby about Gina was as her first commencement speaker for her first year here at Massasoit. I was thrilled, honored, humbled, and scared out of my mind because I told her I wanted to do her proud. And in a cute little messenger on Facebook, she wrote me that I had done just that. So now there's no pressure. There's also no paper, okay? Casual chat, because I'm following the dead horse joke. That was wonderful, okay? I come to you with a unique perspective other than all of the other speakers here, and that is living under the thumb of Dr. Glickman for 10 years at Manchester Community College. It was a happy thumb. I have never had such a meaningful, wonderful 10 years of employment in general and life in an academic arena in particular than those 10 years that I served with and for Gina Glickman. I'm so sad that you took her. We're both wiping our eyes. Some of the very best times I will share with you that we had. Annually at the Evening of Fine Wines, our largest fundraiser at the college every year, black tie, formal, and the last event of the night, after all of the hoopla was done, Gina and I would kick our shoes off and open up the dance floor, okay? Even the year that I had foot surgery and I had the cast and the cane and I was out there shaking it out, she knows how to have a good time. She knows how to make everyone around her enjoy what it is that they're doing. She's open to opportunities and new ideas, and she is not afraid. If there's anything I can brag about her the most, she's not afraid. She's not afraid to try something new. She's not afraid to trust you, close her eyes, and step off a cliff and know that what you said will happen. And it does. Under her leadership, we have a relationship with Manchester Rotary. We now have representation there. And I am, after all the years of being involved with Rotary as a representative of the college, I am now the president-elect for Rotary. Thanks to the support that we got from Gina. We also opened the Rotaract chapter at the college. We also have the Manchester Rotary Interact relationship at the Manchester High School. So she's good on campus, she's good around campus, she's good in the community. It is because of her that we have a much revitalized Women's Caucus on campus that gives the annual newly named Gina Glickman Award every year. The wonderful things that we have done with our veterans, her wearing the stole that she has. The very first year, we decided that all of the veterans on campus were going to have stoles. I bought the stoles. That was the year that my son was serving in Kandahar, Afghanistan, with the Chinook unit. She's compassionate, she's thoughtful, she's dedicated, she's funny as all get out, okay? And I want you, those of you, how many of you know Friends, the show Friends? All right, just think about Elaine's dance and us at the end of the night, okay? Because we were both doing it. You are most fortunate. Looking back on what she's done, and she's only gotten better, you are in for a ride. I wish you much luck trying to keep up with her. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lucy. I'd now like to welcome Clantha McCurdy from the Department of Higher Education to administer the oath of office.
Save the best for last, and this is such an honor. you repeat after me? I state your name, do solemnly swear that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Commonwealth of Massachusetts and will support the Constitution thereof, so help me God.
I, Gina Glickman, do solemnly swear that I will bear the true faith and allegiance to the Commonwealth of Massachusetts and will support the Constitution thereof, so help me God.
I state your name, do solemnly swear and affirm that I will faithfully and impartially discharge and perform all the duties incumbent on me as president of Massasoit Community College according to the best of my abilities and understanding, agreeably to the rules and regulations of the Constitution and the laws of this Commonwealth, so help me God.
I need my reading glasses. It's okay. I, Gina Glickman, do solemnly swear and affirm that I will faithfully and impartially discharge and perform all of the duties incumbent on me as president of Massasoit Community College, according to the best of my abilities and understanding, agreeably to the rules and regulations of the Constitution and the laws of this Commonwealth, so help me God.
I state your name, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States.
I, Gina Glickman, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States. That's enough. Sort of a little teary up here. Well, I'm going to tell a story. I imagine that not many college presidents start their inaugural address saying that they almost didn't make it through high school. But I am, and I did against some odds. We all know that life can be messy, and everyone has a story, and careers aren't necessarily linear, which is why we strive to give our students pathways so that they can progress. They can follow their dreams. One of my favorite quotes by the incomparable Fred Rogers is that one of the greatest dignities of humankind is that each successive generation is invested in the welfare of each new generation. I'm an example of that student who didn't start off, like John, with stellar academic grades and who would have been dismissed as not college material had it not been for the people who believed in me. And mind you, the idea of not making it through high school wasn't really intentional. It's just that I never went. I am telling stories, Marnie. There were just far more interesting things happening during the late 1960s in New York City, and quite frankly, New York school just couldn't compete. The High School of Music and Art, which was in Harlem at the time, is my alma mater. And when I did go, I studied the visual arts, and my best friend Marnie studied the cello. There she is. But we both spent plenty of school days exploring Manhattan and Hoboken. In hindsight, high school was, though, foundational for me in a lot of ways. It was a place of creation and investigation and exploration. And 95% of the graduating class went to college, so that was just an assumption. My dad was a college graduate, but not my mother or my older sister. And frankly, I imagine that my parents just wanted me out of the house, given that the family dynamics around me were in a bit of turmoil at the time. And we were fortunate that I could go away to school with a little help from work-study jobs and loans. In fact, had I been in Massachusetts, I might have chosen Massasoit as an option. After all, I started high school the year we were founded. And as Fine arts major, it was an easy choice to go off to art school, even with no idea of what the future would hold. And while I forged my path, my partner in crime from high school forged hers, and I'm delighted that Marnie is here today with Sheffield. And also here are some family. My stepmother Joan, brother Julius, and my niece Isabella. And you met my dear friends Lucy and Carly, who you just heard from, and Sarah Vincent, would you wave please, and Patricia Lindo, who I worked with closely for years. The two of them saved my bacon too many times to count. My husband Joachim is here in spirit. He is the quintessential community college faculty member, and his students came first today. To my family, my friends, students who are here, faculty, all of my colleagues, Trustee Harness, and the rest of the board, Dr. McCurdy, representing Commissioner Santiago and the Board of Higher Ed, our past presidents who are on stage, Dr. Burke, Dr. Wall, Bill Mitchell, and my fellow college presidents, the Platform Party, all of you business leaders, thank you for being here today. And thank you for all of your support while I navigated my first year at Massasoit. But I want to get back to my story. I don't want to spoil the punchline. You already know I don't make my living as an artist, and Marnie doesn't make hers as a cellist. But I did start on that path, graduating from college with a degree in sculpture. I worked as an art therapist, part-time while I worked in a bookstore. But when I was applying to grad schools, the airline lost my portfolio. So I did mention that careers aren't linear, right? So I ended up earning a master's degree in counseling instead of art therapy, followed by a very long career as a counselor in multiple colleges along the way, and then a tenured faculty position. And finally, at 40, after 9 long years at it, I earned a PhD in educational history and policy, studying the role of women in the arts and in the growth of cities, and ultimately a move to senior leadership positions. But it's my education in the arts that got me thinking about what I want to share with you today. It's about my values and beliefs and a kind of guided pathway that's woven through my personal history and I think applies to my work in community colleges. That one thing that I'd like to try and bottle in order to make a difference boils down to what I believe is our primary role as educators, and that is, quite simply, to inspire creativity. But it's impactful. It's simple, but it's impactful, and it encourages an inquiring mind. It provokes curiosity, and it's an idea that a friend and colleague recently described as being essential to a well-lived life. Creativity is born of curiosity, of inquiry. The two go hand in hand, and they lead to exploration, to asking questions, to discourse, to problem solving, to opening the mind to new ideas and new possibilities. Creativity has the power to transform. The author Tara Westover wrote in a review in the New York Times last Sunday that 77% of children born in the top earnings quartile will earn a degree by age 24. But only 9% at the bottom quartile will do the same. And it's not that they differ academically. Nearly half of all students enrolled in four-year colleges and universities begin at a community college. And then consider that almost 50% of our students are on federal aid, and even more have loans. And we know, as Jim mentioned, that our businesses and organizations have a hard time finding the skilled labor force that they need. Those are pretty stunning statistics when you think about the equality of opportunity for students. And that only reminds us how crucial our community colleges are. Our students need degrees, and we need them to satisfy their curiosity, to be creative. We need higher education to be about social and economic mobility, regardless of a student's economic circumstances. It is the community college that is the classic social justice institution that has the capacity to close the economic gap, to change lives, to build safer, stronger, and more stimulating communities in which we all want to live and work. Paul Tough wrote about mobility, asking the question what it takes to alter the condition of our lives. So how do we get there? We take care of students holistically as they are able to forge their individual paths. And ultimately, we do it by transforming lives every day, and our own included. And it's what we do at Massasoit, and it's what my colleague presidents do at their community colleges. And it is what we will continue to do. We will continue to manage the changing needs of our students, of our communities, so that we stay relevant, so that we stay current, so that our students can find their extraordinary. Our students deserve nothing less. And there's no magic to it. It's a myriad of things, and we don't do it alone. It all starts, though, with a razor focus on our students. We do it by providing the environment and resources that students need, by paying attention to trends, by service on local and national boards. We do it by advocating for public resources and raising private funds. We do it by investing in innovation and professional development, by not being afraid to take risks, and we do it through rigorous programs and high expectations. We do it keeping up with the pace of change, even as we honor our history and legacy. After all, I'm trained as an educational historian, and I'm drawn to and respectful of what history teaches us, but I know that we need to look to the future to remain relevant across all of our disciplines, that we need to stay aware of the issues and concerns that affect the lives and livelihoods of our students. We do it by encouraging curiosity and creativity to prepare students for the future as scientists, as artists, as engineers, as problem solvers. We do it by encouraging curiosity and creativity to spur faculty to keep current in their fields, to design relevant curricula. We do it by encouraging curiosity and creativity in an environment that values diversity in its many iterations. We do it by encouraging curiosity and creativity to establish partnerships, to share resources, and to build talent pipelines. Creativity takes courage. It's an old quote that was attributed to Henry Matisse, and who knows who else has said that. We want our students to be creative thinkers, to have the courage to imagine possibilities. But here's the thing about our students. Many of them have already lived lives of great courage. You've already heard from our alumnus, John Connolly, about the difference Massasoit made in his life. And a few months ago, he told us that he never would have had the courage to be a leader without his degree from Massasoit. And John is not the exception. Students like Cindy Mack, or Wood Eugene. Wood is one of our maintainers, and while working here full-time, he received his degree in human services. And despite some challenges and raising a young family, he told me he did it for his daughter. Wood remains enrolled in classes, and he's hoping to transfer to Bridgewater for his baccalaureate degree. Students like Elizabeth Peche, a member of the class of 2018 who came to the United States from Kenya with dreams of a better life. Today, she's in her senior year at Smith College. To ensure that students like John and Cindy and Wood and Elizabeth can be successful, to provide access and opportunity, that's our charge. Our boards in the Department of Higher Ed have goals for student success and equity. To meet those goals, we also needed to know what our communities need. And so this year we spent surveying our communities, having campus discussions, reaching out to business and industry. They talked, we listened, and today we have engaged our business partners in a real way with advisory voices on programs, internships, support for addressing hunger, scholarship. You heard from Jim Dunphy, one of our first members of the business community to reach out when I started my tenure here. And our foundation is growing. This year, we added several new board members, and we were honored to accept a $100,000 anonymous donation, which will fund scholarships for 40 to 45 Brockton High School graduates for the coming year. And I'd just like to take an opportunity to introduce the new president of our foundation, Dick Fry, who's here with his wife, Edith. We are also building spaces on campuses that are designed to work for students. We've created a one-stop enrollment center. We've renovated our dining hall, our student lounge. We've made strides in making our campuses more ADA accessible, and we're planning the renovation of 2 classroom buildings. A student was overheard telling her young daughter when they walked through one of our in-progress renovations, "Look at what my college is doing for me. I love my college." That's why we're here. This year, we also launched our University Collaborative, offering on-site baccalaureate degrees because some of our careers, especially in allied health, are requiring that degree. Our first partnership that way is with Curry College and their nursing program, and unfortunately, their president couldn't be here today, but I'm very grateful for their partnership. You also heard from Mayor Rodriguez earlier, and I'm proud to say that we're working to further the groundwork laid by the late Mayor Carpenter for a new downtown center. It will house instructional space and play a role as an academic driver in the city of Brockton. These are all ongoing initiatives, and I'm proud we seeded them in my first year here, but we'll continue to build on them. And going forward, we're very focused on being data-driven in our decision-making, designing new programs and new partnerships, assessing existing programs, developing new teaching methodologies, enhancing our advisory boards. We even created a new art gallery in Canton so that we are responsive to the needs of our community and our businesses in addition to our educational partners. And most importantly, we have a start on building our capacity to eradicate Massasoit student debt. That part of the equity agenda is my driving force. I'm honored today to be formally installed as the 6th president of Massasoit Community College. It's kind of an auspicious date for an inauguration. We're in the middle of the 10 days of awe between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. It's a celebration of the new year, a time of reflection, repentance, and it's also a time of joy and gravity and one of unity. I'm grateful for the trust and support of my leadership team, of my board of trustees, of our newly energized foundation board, the Department of Higher Ed, our past presidents, and of my family and friends, my students, my colleagues, past and present. I know that I stand on the shoulders of those who came before me, including the women who forged this path so that I could be here today. And I want to say a final thank you to my immediate family. Aleha ha shalom. May they rest in peace. My mother Marion, my father Marvin, and my sister Donna. To the students here today, it takes courage to design your own path, but know that you will create it surrounded by people who believe in you. None of us succeed on our own. I wish you all a very sweet new year. Thank you.